Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nnewsstand, and we are back for another bad ideas. Are you okay over there?
I'm okay.
Yay! We could totally cut that, or we could keep going. It's your call.
Yeah, we'll keep going. It's fine.
We're going to talk about villains. We are going to talk about evil villains, the best of the best. And the reason this came up is I wanted to talk about how kind of the villainry in comics is gone. Nobody's truly evil anymore. But then I started thinking, and I thought this was a better way to do it. But I do have one villain that's not true evil. I want to put that out there. Anyways, how are you today, Bianca?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
I am good. I am curious. Is your list lean into just comics, or do you go into manga?
Shoot, I could have done manga. Well, I'm doing comics, okay? I'm just doing comics. I already decided.
There we go. Same here, but I did have an honorable mention that I wanted to say before we actually started our list. And that was just because I'm so sick of this character, I can't include him. Like, my good brain can't include this character because I'm so over the Joker. Like, the Joker is evil. He can be a good villain, but we've seen so much of him. I am over it.
Dang it, I just added him to my list. I'm just kidding. He was not on my list on purpose.
Well, yeah, and same here. I do have a Batman villain or two, but
I have them as well.
Well, and it just was like, Joker War was pretty good. We've gotten some great, Endgame and some other great stories with Joker. There are great stories with Joker, but
it's
are
too much.
Exactly. There are so many good rogues galleries of Batman that you don't need to rely upon the Joker. Venture out there. I promise you will find somebody more interesting and that can even possibly be more evil. I'm pretty sure I have one of them on my list, but I get sick of it. I'm not going to lie. Like, at this point, I would love to see the comics accidentally do a storyline or not accidentally, but on purpose do a storyline where Batman accidentally kills Joker or something just to get him the fuck out of here. I'm over it. I am over it. Okay. I was going to say ladies first, but Bianca's first. Who do you have for number 5?
So what I have for number 5 are the Furies.
Oh, that's a great example.
Besides that whole weird storyline, yeah, and erase that from your brains. I didn't even read it, but that's erased from my brain. These are just like, they're just evil, minus Barda, of course. Wait, Barda's not part of the Furies, is she?
It really kind of depends. It really kind of depends. They're like her best friends sometimes, and then she's part of them sometimes, and the other times they're fighting. So it really just depends on who's writing the story. We don't not this in that Cecil Castellucci story. She was, I believe, but generally no.
So I'm gonna leave her out of the Furies and just leave the Furies as Furies. My first time seeing them was I believe it was like a Superman Batman Apocalypse. Where Superman finds Supergirl for the very first time, and that he has a family and all that stuff, and she trains with Wonder Woman, and then seeing that fight with the Furies, that was the most awesomest choreography I've ever seen. And it's like they don't care. The way they dress is like super weird and so evil.
It's so good though.
And then they're super strong, and their weapons just scream like villainy. You will die. And it's just that atmosphere that they have, and I just love it so much.
Do you have a favorite?
I don't know how she looks in the comics, but in that movie, there's this girl and she has like fangs. I don't know if she walks on all fours or something. I don't know.
Mad Harriet.
Yeah.
The green with green hair?
Yeah, green hair.
Yeah, I love Mad Harriet. She's awesome.
She looks like an animal. I love it.
I love is it Lashina who has the black on her like across her face and everything? I'm pretty sure it is. I love her. She's awesome. I like Bernadette too, but I
guess I should have also added Granny to the list.
Yes, I was gonna say, are you a Granny fan? Granny's like the ultimate terrible mother. Like, she's fucking horrible. And that was what was so bad about that Cecil Castellucci mini, because they made Granny a victim. Like Darkseid raped her and shit. Like it was extra.
Ew.
Yeah. It was terrible. Granny is not a victim. Granny is nobody's victim. She is a fucking badass.
He likes them old, I guess.
I guess so. It's creepy. Why'd you have to go and make it creepy?
What?
Yes.
You're the one who mentioned it.
I know.
Now I
I
gotta
know.
think about it.
I gotta think about that weird fucking. Oh no. No. Moving on. I love them. That's such a good example. Have you ever read Tom King's Mr. Miracle?
That's funny.
No, it's good. It's so good.
I'm having. I'll get the trade paperback for that. I have his Killing Time right now.
Oh, okay. I gotta ask you what you think of that later. But
Covers are so good.
so good. In that, like, they set aside kind of their differences so they can see Barda's baby. It's so sweet, and it kind of shows their like nice side. I love it. Now read that book. It really. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's one of my favorite books ever. Okay, so for number 5, I have Blacktop Bill.
Who?
From Noctera by Scott Snyder and Tony Daniels.
That's why I don't know. I'm not reading Noctera.
This dude. So the whole thing is basically there are these different Terras, like Terras, and the one that took over this world is called the Noctera. They're trying to get to different places, like Eos, to different save them, but this one took over and it was all black. Well, Blacktop Bill basically became an all black figure. He's
That's
literally
racist,
just
Tristan. I'm just kidding.
I know it's he put like these halogen tubes on him and it burnt into his skin, so now he's just all black. This evil dude just goes around like absolutely murdering indiscriminately. Kind of takes this little girl her name's Bailey, and she's traveling with her grandpa trying to get to a place that has light. And the grandpa has to end up giving himself up. So he turns her grandpa into a shade in order to kill Bailey. Like, this guy is just indiscriminately evil, and I like it. The only thing is now we're kind of seeing him work with the main group, Val Riggs and the rest of them. And he really is like kind of going soft, I guess is the best way to say it. And I'm hoping he doesn't go too soft, but Blacktop Bill is awesome. So is Noctera. I love Scott Snyder's writing, and this is just an example of how to do like kind of superhero storytelling, but also these are normal people just trying to survive. It's not even superhero storytelling. That's a bad example. It's more like post-apocalyptic storytelling in a different way.
Awesome. That sounds like pretty awesome possum.
It is. So what do you have for number 4?
So what I have for number 4 is the Riddler.
I love it.
Just like his mind always fascinates me. And now that I have a book, which is Batman Killing Time, I get to read more of the Riddler.
Wait, I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Do you love Hot Riddler as much as me?
Yeah.
It's so good. The art is so fantastic.
To me, Riddler already has this sort of thing that makes me like attracted to him, and that's with his brain.
And then you make him hot on top of it. It's awesome.
Like having him when I was watching the Batman animated series with my sister for the first time, I was always hoping for a Riddler episode, just because I know that means that the episode's going to be super fun rather than a Joker episode.
I think there's something really fascinating about a person that has no superpowers, no, wealth to speak of, nothing but his brain, and he has to use that so intently in order to get a leg up on everyone else, because he can't beat up Bane, he can't beat up Batman, he can't go toe to toe with these characters, But what he can't go toe to toe with when it comes to Bruce Wayne is his brain, and that is much more deadly of a tool, in my opinion, because it has not only the small effects of just one-on-one, but he can rig up Gotham. He can set up things all over, and it can be mass panic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the Riddler. I think he's I don't know, sometimes it feels like they treat him as more of a I guess non-threat than they do the bigger characters. But I think stuff like Hush and some of the other, even though they messed up that animated show, but our animated movie, show that the Riddler can go toe to toe, and his brain is so cool. Have you read Killing Time yet, or did you just get him?
I got him because of your recommendation.
Yay!
So like I don't even have the first 2 issues out. I got like 3 through 4 or 5.
I'm curious to see what you think, because it's nonlinear storytelling, and it uses a lot of like Riddler's wit in order to get through between him and Selina. So when you're done, you have to tell me what you think, because I'm very curious. It's very much so a Riddler-centric story if you like Riddler.
Yay!
It's awesome. You're gonna love it. So next I have my list is a little funky, but I have Walter Sampson.
From
Jupiter's Legacy.
Ooh.
Have you ever read or dived into that universe? Okay. Jupiter's Legacy is one I will champion for a long time. Mark Millar is amazing at creating worlds. And
how you pronounce his name?
Is it Millar or Miller? I don't know.
I don't know either, but he's a turd, okay? He doesn't like he won't say the correct pronunciation on purpose, apparently.
That's awesome though. That he's a little bit of a troll himself. But he does this world. I absolutely think, besides DC Comics, obviously, is the best world that's ever been created. You have this idea that kind of a lot of people took on at that time. That story, what happened if superheroes were in real life, right? What would actually happen? But this one kind of flips it on its head and leaves a lot of the mystery up to you as to whether, until the end, whether it's aliens or whether it is how these people got their powers. Well, you have a brother and I guess it is, you have a brother duo, right? And one is Walter, and basically the whole time you're thinking this, for a while, you're thinking that this guy is going to help his brother. He's out there, he's doing a lot of really good. Sheldon is his brother. And then he gets a hold of, they have kids, they grow. The kids have powers. So then he gets a hold of the kid who's kind of a mess up, who doesn't necessarily do things like his dad does. Sheldon, his dad, is super, super hard on him anyways. But Brandon basically is this outcast, right? Both of the kids are really kind of fucked up, but so he kind of manipulates him, and so much so into murdering his parents, and it's just absolutely fucking evil. Eventually it does get taken out, but it's a fucked up situation, but he takes advantage to a T of the insecurity of the son, and is able to make him and build him up and pretend like you are this great person. You are capable of things your father could never dream of, and I can help you. Only I can help you. Only I'm the one that can do it for you. And he fucking takes out his parents. Like, it's a fucked up situation. But that's what makes him such a good villain, because Walter knows he's not as strong as his brother, or even his sister-in-law, or even a lot of the other people that got powers. But just like the Riddler, he's fucking smart. He's brilliantly smart, and he's able to use the other people around him in order to take over. And it's awesome. I tell people about Jupiter's Legacy. It's got Frank Quitely art, Mark Millar writing. It is one of these stories that, similar to The Boys and Invincible, takes superheroes into real life, but also keeps the super heroics that we love and the action that we love and the mystery, and builds this world that is so fucking good that I was so I was so disappointed they ruined it. Like, that could have been the next hit like The Boys, but nope. They had to Netflixify it. They had to make it bad. Like, Chloe's another one of those characters. It's like, you ever see like the daughters of celebrities that are just drug addicts and kind of strung out? That's kind of how she is. And she ends up kind of turning on her head where she has a son, and they have to end up kind of getting responsible and then taking back over. And it's awesome. It's such a good story. I will stand it every day. Or every other day. So what do you have next?
So my next character is Lex Luthor. Another person with a brain.
I love it. We can tell your type. We can clearly tell your type. Why do you love Lex Luthor?
As a person who used to hate Superman for no reason at all.
Just because he was Superman?
Yeah, that was a popular thing when I was a kid.
Ah, okay.
Like, nobody liked Superman. Everybody always liked Batman, and if you did like Superman, you're like, really? Superman's such a loser. How can you like Superman?
Oh my god.
His weakness is a rock. Yeah, so that good stuff. And then when I was watching the animated series for the first time, like, that theme song just got me hooked, I'm like, yo, this theme song is like pretty fire. And then I'm like, okay, so let's see how this Lex Luthor is. Let's see what this guy got, and I'm like, oh, he kind of reminds me of like a Riddler, except he actually has money and has a very high position, in like the power scale, that kind of stuff. And that it just surprises me that he can literally use like his power and his money to get what he wants, and then just like, if he gets caught, he goes to jail and then freaking comes out of jail and all that stuff. And because it's like, whatever, I'll just get out, do it all again. And then like, with his like stuff, he became freaking president. And I'm like, you guys are stupid enough to keep trusting Lex with this stuff.
And he's a Republican now, apparently, according to the New Fortress book. Even though, when the story you're talking about, he actually ran as an independent, but now, yeah.
Okay. As independent seems like, independent seems right.
I agree.
And like, he's like, I don't like Superman. I want him out of here. Once I get him out, I can have my utopia and rule everything. You gotta love that him wanting to like dominate Metropolis, and then he just keeps trying, and he just doesn't care. In the Superman animated series, just them meeting for like the first time, where Superman just comes to his like building, and then he's just not standing there, he's just flying there with his arms crossed, and he just has a stare. And then Lex Luthor is like, hey, if you want, you can join me, we can be a pretty good team and all that stuff. We can rule Metropolis together. And then Superman just says nothing, and he was like, really? Like, do you know how many people would lose their jobs if it wasn't for me? Like, do you know how this place would crumble without me? I'm an extremely important person here. And I'm just like, oh, he's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna like this guy. I'm just gonna be so interested to see what he does in the future. And it just surprises me. On my shorts, I wrote that I was catching up on some reading. I have a lot of reading to catch up on. So I organized everything, and I got all the Son of Kal-El books that I have. And what he recently did in that comic, I just loved.
Oh my god.
Like, he went to his I think he called them competitors or something like that. And he kind of just like blackmailed them, and he's like, hey, so here you have a box, you open that box, and now because you opened that box, I have these little nanites going directly to your brain.
Yes.
And one of them was like, oh man, I gotta get out of here, and he's like, if you leave you will die, and please meet to my demands, which of course was just money.
Right.
And then I think one of the guys, I think the guy who wanted to leave, he wanted to do something, and so he tried to do something, he ended up failing, and that guy ended up getting like a stroke or something. And what's it called, Lex Luthor's assistant was like, was that you? Was that the nanites? He's like, no, it was just a stroke, just a coincidence. And I'm like, you liar.
Yeah.
You obviously did something, especially since he said like right after, he's like, you know, he did something he wasn't supposed to do, and he got the consequences. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is so heartless and evil. I love it.
It kind of was like perfect though. I love that idea of like just like with Riddler. He can't compete with these people physically, but he can bring them to their knees with his brain and resources. And he does. I like him in Son of Kal-El. I do think, how far did you get caught up? Did you get caught up through 12?
Yes.
So you know he's working with Bendix and everything.
Yes.
I think initially when right? I think initially when Lex was introduced to Clark, that idea of fear made sense. And now it's evolved to more of a drive for power. And it's not even like the idea of I need more money, maybe here and there, but it's a drive for power and control. And I think it's so fitting for Lex in this book to be working with this fucking psychopath that's got this uprising of meta psychos on his side. I love when Lex uses like that hate for Big Blue in order to drive him. Have you ever read the Brian Azzarello Lee Bermejo Luthor story by chance?
No.
It's really, really good. It's more of a kind of origin, but he actually ends up creating this woman that is used from Kryptonian DNA. And kind of falling in love with her, but then, you know, manipulating her in order to go against Superman and everything else. It's a really, really good story, but the lengths that he will take in order to take Superman out are fucking scary. Like, he blows up a school of children. Like, this man is straight up evil.
And, you know, I was like, should I pick Brainiac? And I'm like, no, that seems like the obvious choice. But then Lex Luthor also seems like the obvious choice. But, like, I don't know. Even though Brainiac is, like, incredibly smart and all that stuff, and he can't really die because he can have his memory, like,
Right.
downloaded into another body just like that. Like, Lex Luthor can just like somehow prevent his death altogether.
Yeah. I get Brainiac. I've never been a huge Brainiac fan. He's
all right.
He's a huge threat and he's great in Injustice and some of the other stuff, but like he's boring. Like I think sometimes storytelling using actual like humanity, as far as like Lex Luthor is actually human, the lengths that a human would go are much more intriguing than what a basic robot bitch would go. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
I think Brainiac 5 is much more interesting than Brainiac himself.
Brainiac 5, that sounds so familiar.
He's like the good Brainiac from the future.
Legion of Superheroes?
Yes.
Oh, I love him.
He's awesome. He I think they also did him in Supergirl or Legends of Tomorrow. One of the two also. I know he was in the show also. I like Brainiac 5 because he has some humanity to him. He's not just like a dribble robot.
I saw him in the cartoon.
he's usually portrayed pretty decently as far as, at least from the comics. I don't know from the cartoon. I need to get on that. But yeah, Brainiac's boring. I get it. So for number 3, it kind of is a villain, kind of not a villain. Definitely a villain, but definitely not a villain, if that makes sense. Not at all. It's Homelander.
I was like, are you gonna have Homelander in this?
Yes. Like, Homelander is portrayed in the 7 as a hero. That's what I mean, like, not a villain, but he is a villain. But this dude is utter fucking psychosis, all embodied into a person that's been created in a test tube and tested upon his whole life. Like, Homelander now, there's a little bit of different continuity because the comics and the show, but like in the comics, he's a little bit worse because Black Noir is, well, he's a lot worse, but Black Noir is actually a clone of him that was created to take him down if need be. And it's different in the show, but like Black Noir fucked with him. Like, if there was superhero trolling, that was Black Noir. Like, he went around and did things while Homelander was sleeping, making him think he did things like eating babies and going. It was just like, yeah. And then Homelander would wake up and be like, that's not me on TV. Like, that's not me. I didn't do that. So it was like fucked up. But even in the show, from the very beginning, you could tell like the instability. Like, the only reason he has his son, which is a new character to the show, is because he raped Becca. That's it. That's the only reason he has that child. Going back to, I think, the first season, he blows the mayor's plane when he doesn't agree with him. And then he kills a bunch of people on a separate plane, and it kind of holds over his head for a long time. And he kills his not captor, but like his weird lady that he gets milk from. Like, it's so disturbing. It's so disturbing. It is. I don't get the milk thing, but sure. I do love. There's one part, and I'm not sure if it's in season.
I could probably explain the milk thing.
But they explain the milk thing. I don't get the milk thing.
Okay, so I'm using this like for animals because I'm guessing this can be also for people as well. So, mother's milk, not the character, but actual.
I was gonna say there's an actual character.
So, like, mother's milk, any mother's milk has some calming effect to it. It kind of helps with your think of it as like when you're drinking like chamomile or lavender tea to help calm the body down. That's what it's mostly used for. You know, he's obviously not using it for vitamins or whatever. So from when I was looking at that, I'm like, okay, I'm wondering if it's because of the calming properties that a mother's breast milk has, you know, especially for like if you go to like a pet store, there's a lot of things that will have a mother's milk inside of it as an ingredient, because they're like, because here are what it does. It kind of makes you feel safe.
And I get that. It's weird when you're a grown ass dude.
I know that part I can't explain. I can only explain the milk part.
It's weird, but Homelander is he can do anything. He could end civilization. And I think that's what's so scary about it, is you have to placate this guy in order to keep him calm. Because if not, he could just go, laser some nuclear reactors, kill millions of people, just go absolutely berserk. So it's scary that he's always on that edge, and he shows no restraint himself. Like, it's weird to me that they not weird, but since his childhood was so fucked up, right? He was an experiment. He kind of really wants admiration and acceptance. And I think that's a really smart trope to use, because he never had those things as from a mother or from, even a friend or a sibling or a father. But somebody that yearns for 100% acceptance is never going to be happy, because you can't ever make everybody happy, right? Somebody's always going to be upset. So that one person that upset could be that one thing that tips him off. And that's what's so scary about it, because it could be anything that tips him off. It's just one bad day.
And just one bad day and it ruined everything.
Homelander's awesome. I love Homelander. So who do you have next?
Are we on number 2 now?
Mm-hmm.
Cheetah.
Ooh, good one. Oh, damn it. I forgot all about Wonder Woman villains. Good one.
Loser.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, like, how do I freaking show my love for this wonderful, plunderful villain? I wonder if plunderful is a word. Hopefully, it doesn't mean the opposite of what I just said about her being awesome. So I guess it depends on which storyline you're looking at. But the storyline I like the most is that probably from Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not biased. Shut up. Of her being like an archaeologist, knowing some things about the Amazons, and then, you know, being tricked into getting this power, and because he's not a virgin, painful power, and then just like after a long time of being in that mode, she just turns cannibalistic because she's still kind of a person on the inside, and she just slowly like loses her mind. But of course, her powers are that of like gods, similar to Diana, where she can be as fast as the Flash, she can hurt Superman, she can hurt Diana, and then her intelligence is still there, similar to Batman's. Not as smart as Batman, but still very smart, since she herself is a scientist of a sort.
A bit of a scientist herself. I love Cheetah. She's such a good like adversary for Diana, because is it Rebirth where they're friends initially?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I like that. I think that works really well, because like Diana's heart is huge. She's going to keep trying to fight for her, even if she is bad, even if she is a villain. And I love that kind of animalistic instinct, but also the humanity within. And it works really. I can't believe I forgot. I would have mentioned Cersei. She's cool too.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna mention Cersei, but then I realized I don't read much about Cersei. I only know her from the Justice League animated series where she turned Diana into a pig. And then this is one of my favorite Wonder Woman Batman romances because he sang for her. Oh.
Wait, he sang for Diana. Now I gotta go look it up. That's so cute. Except for, you know,
is better. So he asked Satana for help. He's like, hey, can you do something? She's like, nah, this is like some different stuff. We're gonna have to go directly to her. And he was like, okay, so what do I do? And she's like, you're gonna have to do this. You said you said anything, right? And he was like, and then it fades out and they're at this club or something, and then he sings Why Am I Blue? And then Cersei and Zatanna start crying and they're like, I'll change her back. And then after Diana is turned back to human, she kind of like thanks him, and he's like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. She's like, sure. And then she starts humming what he was singing, and I'm like,
oh, that's so cute. All right, that's adorable. Fuck. I can't even think of a Talia moment that's cute. That is as cute as
they
that.
Have a lot of cute moments, though.
They do have a baby together. Just saying.
So does Batman and Wonder Woman. They got 2 kids. One becomes Batman. The other one wears like all black leather like Catwoman, but has some like gold underlines throughout her costume, and then has the lasso of truth also. And then she sees a bad guy, rips his arm off, and was like, you can't abuse your wife with that hand anymore.
Out of curiosity, I don't know if I've ever asked you this. What do you think of the Superman and Wonder Woman pairing?
No.
I know, right? I know. I hate it. I don't know if you've ever read Kingdom Come, but at the end I was like, oh, it's
That's
so
the
cute, but
actual good one.
yeah, I was like, oh, it's so cute, but I just don't like it still. I just don't. It makes sense. That's why I don't like it.
For me, like it seems like people just want them to be together because they're similar, and to me I'm
Right.
like, that's kind of dumb though. Like Batman and Catwoman are not similar at all, but that's the reason why they're so into each other. That's the
Yeah,
whole kink or whatever.
it's yin and yang. Like you can't be too much of the same because then it makes it Lois and Clark. It makes it too vanilla.
When I was a kid, I was watching Justice League animated series at my dad's house, and I was like, "Dad, are Wonder Woman and Batman boyfriend and girlfriend?" And he was like, "No." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes, they've never dated." And I'm like, You could have fooled me." And then I was like, "Dad," and I'm like, "Are Wonder Woman and Superman brother and sister?" And he was like, "No, they're not related." And I'm like, "Yo, they look the exact same, bro. How can you tell me they're not related?"
Oh my god, that's
Because
so
they had
funny.
the same colors, same colored hair. In the show, they had like a sibling kind of relationship. It wasn't romantic at all, and I guess that's the reason why I thought that. I don't know. And it's like they just look. I thought they were twins.
Oh my
Because
god,
of
that's so
how alike
funny.
they were. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So for number 2, I have oddly enough, my only Batman villain on this list, and that is Scarecrow.
Oh, dang it.
Scarecrow to me, like you made good points about the Riddler, but Scarecrow brings in the horror aspect of it. Like he's got the brain, but he's also so twisted that it is so good. There was one story, and I don't remember the cycle of violence, I think it was, that they did this kind of it was in the New 52. And they kind of did this origin thing, and he actually by the end, basically what happens is he was, fucked up as a kid. Everybody knows Scarecrow as a kid. His dad kind of did the same thing to him and kind of experimented upon him, and he sort of, the reason it's called the cycle of violence is because he sort of started to do the same to another kid. And it's really good because it kind of puts a notch in that cycle where he actually, if I remember correctly, it's been a couple years since I read it, but he actually saves the kid and kind of, fucks with himself with that. But that's to me like the best Scarecrow story, but there are a lot of really good Scarecrow stories. Like he brings in a lot of horror vibe that I really like in comics. Like even going to gaming, even Arkham Knight. Like he brought Gotham to its knees and was able to basically fuck with Batman so much that he was losing it. He was going crazy. So I don't know if it's Scarecrow, his mind, or the horror, but it's such a good combination. I love the idea of like, I wonder what the fuck I would see if I was underneath Scarecrow toxin. Like I'm pretty sure it would be just sharks all around me. Like I don't know, but it would be interesting. Like I'm not saying I'd be against it. Just what? No, I'm just kidding. But I love that idea. I think if we're talking true villainry and actually being like that fear, Scarecrow's where it's at. Are you a Scarecrow
I would
person?
have. I love the Scarecrow. Well, just as much as the Riddler. Ah,
I love his like synth thing, and he just looks like he looks absolutely terrifying. He looks horrifying, and that helps a lot. Like he's got the like Riddler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You look at him, and he's like he's green and he's fun, and he looks like a leprechaun. But Scarecrow, you're like, holy fuck, this is actually a Scarecrow, or so you
I gotta
think
get out of
sometimes.
here.
Right? I love that. It's so good. I was trying to see what that kid's name was, but I can't find it. Cycle of Violence is such a good storytelling. It's Greg Hurwitz, who I've been enjoying more and more lately. So good. Uh-oh. Who do you have for your number one?
So I said I was like gonna make it up as I go.
Yeah.
For this list. And I was like, I miscounted, and I'm like, shoot, I'm missing one more. So while we were doing this, I'm like, do I know any manga characters? like I can just like watch an anime and it has a manga. Like, what freaking villain? And I'm like, got it. I got it. Because I have talked about this anime series before. So there is an anime series called Tiger and Bunny. I call it the My Hero Academia, but for adults.
Oh,
and
I like it then.
I remember the villain, Lunatic. And he has this whole garb where it's like he's dressed from head to toe, like he even like wears a mask, so you don't know what his face looks like. And he has like I believe he had like a crossbow of like blue flames or something like that.
That's freaking awesome.
So his power is that he can control like blue flames, but I don't think he really needs a crossbow to do it. I think he can just, shoot it out through his hands or something like that. His real name is Yuri Petrov. I think that's how it's pronounced. And his real life job is that he's a judge. For the city's administration of justice, as well as the TV Heroes curator, which that's kind of the whole thing with the heroes. They have a hero TV, like it's like literally broadcast like did throughout all the city, because for the whole heroes thing, like you see them fight the bad guys and they get points. Kind of interesting.
Cool, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Points gets to win. Usually, I don't even know what they win. I guess just compliments. They're like, oh, this person's number one again. That kind of thing. And his whole thing is that he believes that in order for true peace to prevail, all criminals or sinners must receive punishment equal to their crimes or sins. Thus, all murderers must die to atone for having killed someone. And you're like, isn't this like a hero thing to do? Well, no, because despite him being a judge, he's literally judge, jury, and executioner, Right. And he just like does not care. Like if he's willing to kill heroes who get in his way to get what he wants. And the reason he was like this is because his dad was like the ultimate hero, called Mr. Legend. So I'm not sure if they ever like delve in to something like this. But like over time, when he got older, he started losing his powers and he started to become an alcoholic and beat his wife. And then he would always teach his son, like, not to turn a blind eye to evil. Right. And, despite him being an abuser. But I guess like the last time was like the last straw of him like beating his wife, because that's when Yuri was like, I'm not going to turn a blind eye to evil. I'm going to do something about it. And kind of like fire just appeared on his arm where he was going to beat his wife. And, like he tries to beat up his son. Stuff happens. He dies. And it ended up traumatizing him. But that's where Yuri's sense of justice came about, and he's like, hey, I can be a judge, I can judge sentences for literally everybody, and I can kill you. And I believe how it all started was like people were just like, criminals were just like getting like blue-green fire just out of nowhere and being burned to death. And and it's like the twist was so interesting. Like, I would not have known that that was him. I'm like, the judge? He seems like such a nice guy. And he was like, no, I'm gonna kill all these criminals and I'm gonna kill whoever gets in my way. I don't care. And so again, that's why he is my number one. Also, because I needed a number one.
The more and more I hear about the show, though, the more and more I'm interested. Like, I like My Hero Academia, and describing it for adults is kind of perfect. Like, if I'm gonna get, I don't know, isn't it on Netflix?
Yes, season 1, season 2, and both of the movies are on Netflix.
I might have to check it out. It sounds pretty good, especially for an anime. Ew. No, I'm just kidding.
I will say that their eyes are not big.
See, it gets better and better.
They literally have like normal eyes.
Ew.
For the girls, I think for some of the girls, not all of the girls, some of them have more of the regular circle eyes, which is like normal people eyes. And then if they're a little bit younger, they tend to be more of the oval shaped, like in anime, but nowhere near as big.
I that would be great. That's what I can stand. It's just when it gets too like as weird as it sounds, anime-esque. I can't. I don't know. It just drives me crazy. Okay, so for number one, this was a hard choice for me. Actually, it was super easy. Barely an inconvenience. I chose Negan. Now, the only reason I say it was a hard choice for me is because I couldn't pick between Negan and the governor. But Negan is drunk on power. He loves the power, and I think, well, I guess Governor does too. You know what? Negan's just better because he has a bat named Lucille. That's it. Negan to me is like the last time we had a truly, deeply evil villain in comics. And actually they brought him back in crossover. It was so good. It was so good. But he actually kills his creator, Robert Kirkman. It's funny. But Negan to me was that shockingly evil person. And the reason why it was so good is because The Walking Dead, it's humanity that's the problem, right? Yes, there's zombies out there and they have to fight with that kind of stuff. But the most evil of it all is not the zombies. It's what humanity does to each other. It's what factions break off and wars start. And Negan was one of those characters that came in and kind of blew everybody and everything away. And he was straight up evil. Like drunk with power, Glenn bashing, Abraham killing, evil. Like I can't even describe what a terrible person this was. He took the main character, Rick, who has been essentially the alpha throughout the entire thing, the leader, the one everybody looks up to, the one that leads, the one that does everything correctly, and made him his bitch in like 2 seconds. Like, he broke that man. He broke that group. And anybody that kind of went against him ended up, I guess, spaghetti. He makes
SpaghettiOs.
Like, one of the things that is so weird to me, but I love, and it's evil when anybody walks by, he makes them kneel, right? Like that is how power drunk this man is. He goes on and he attacks the Whisperers. He basically brings every group that he runs into with to their knees without question. And like, honestly, I like it because it is... A villain is supposed to be hated. A villain is supposed to be somebody that you cannot, that you obviously can't relate to, but it's something that you're supposed to fear. And Negan is fear. Like, Negan is everything that is scary. He's
except his name.
It's a cool name. Shut up.
It's a weird name.
He's all powerful, but he doesn't have any superpowers. And that's what makes it so scary.
He did scare me in the show.
He does what?
He did scare me in the show.
Like him torturing Daryl and stuff like that. these characters like Daryl and Rick that have been so I guess I don't even know, alpha, and bringing them to their knees in a matter of seconds. Like that one scene where he has Carl on the ground and he's making Rick chop off his arm but doesn't actually do it. Like that is some psychological torture. That's the word I'm looking for. Psychological torture is what his specialty is, and he does it so well. And Lucille's awesome.
Who's Lucille?
His bat.
Oh, that's right. You just said that.
It's named after his ex-wife, but then he has like other wives. It's weird, but it's awesome also at the same time.
The ex-wife be hitting hard.
Like I like the governor too. He's truly evil also, but I think Negan takes the cake as far as like there are people that have done worse, but not that are not superpowered. There are people. Walking Dead was always so interesting to me because it's dealing with zombies and stuff like that. You kill them, you move, you get to a place that's safe. It's the human interaction that made it so terrifying. Like, you don't know if that person is not even have to deal with being bit. You don't know if that person is going to slit your throat when you're asleep. You don't know anything about these people, and you have to rely on them. And that, like, a reliance on something other than yourself without having any trust there is terrifying in itself. And then you add Negan into the mix, and it's like, fuck. You just come on, become a walker. Like, it's time. Do you like The Walking Dead? I guess I never even asked.
I was just watching my brother watch it, and I'm like, hey, what's going on now?
It's the best video game series ever created. We're going to say that right off the bat. And it was the original when it came to these post-apocalyptic stories. Like, it wasn't the first zombie story. It wasn't those things. It was the way that Robert Kirkman was able to make you love a character and then rip your heart out in the next episode or issue when he maybe ripped their heart out. Like, he was able to make you root and care so deeply, but then also not know if they were going to make it another page or two. It was so good.
I found the picture of what Lunatic looked like. I was right. There is a crossbow, but the mask was a lot scarier than what I remembered. This is like some Scarecrow mask.
Hey, let me share it. Yeah, that's a little creepy, for sure.
I don't remember it being that scary when I watched it. I didn't even remember it had teeth.
The teeth are so weird. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
This is a very good mask, though. Like, nobody can tell it's you. Scarecrow, take some notes. Have a mask like this.
Wait. How would you see out of it?
The eyes.
I know, but it would be hard.
That's
it's
true.
Awesome, though.
I never realized that the eyes are a little bit more far apart than the actual anime character. That's kind of funny.
This is a cosplay too on top of it.
Yeah. I couldn't, when I was looking at like figures, I couldn't get the right angle. And I'm like, come on, I need a side profile, not in front of, not like looking straight ahead, because it kept looking weird.
Yeah, but that's so good. That had to take some holy crap time.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Which is why Tristan should watch this show or read the manga. I don't care.
Is it on Shonen Jump?
Is it considered a shonen?
I don't know. You said it was kind of more adult, though. I have Shonen Jump, and I paid for it for like 6 months, and I haven't opened it in like 6 months.
Well, I know it's licensed by Viz Media.
Nope, it's not on there. I just looked it up.
Nah, so I guess it's more of a... Yeah, it's more of a seinen.
Is that the older one?
Yeah, for like whether people who are older or guys who are older.
That makes sense. That would be more interesting anyway.
Which is why they need a Seinen app, and which is why they need a Shoujo app, and why they need a Josei app, or just have all of them together. Come on.
Yeah, just put them all. Just have the different categories in the Shonen Jump app. Like, that would make more sense.
Wait, what kind of digital book app do you have that's like normal? Like Google Books, right?
Yeah, I have Google, but I have a bunch. I have Comic Trim, I have Google Buns, I have Kuro Reader, I have Shonen Jump, DC Infinite. I have too many.
Or maybe it's on Google Books. I know they would be on a Kindle, but I don't think you have a Kindle.
Is that Comixology though now?
Oh, that's right. I forgot they had a merger. What app do I have? I have both Kindle and Comixology, but it seems really weird to have both. Because I have no idea where to buy anything.
Comixology absolutely sucks now. It is not on Google Books. Wow. That's really weird.
Why did I think I would buy it on Comixology? It would obviously have to be on Amazon or Kindle, and you just buy it digitally. Oh no, they offloaded my Kindle app.
It is not. It's Tiger and Bunny, right?
That's the only name I know.
It is not on Comixology either. Holy crap.
Listen, I know this freaking thing is like very underrated and all that stuff, but that underrated?
Yeah, you would think at least at the bare minimum they would have it on Comixology, which has a lot of anime on it. That's so
dang
weird.
For Amazon, they only have the freaking physical.
Wow, it really truly is underrated.
It's super underrated.
Maybe you know what? I would rather read it, I'm not gonna lie. But if it meant using Netflix, how many episodes is the first season?
Oof. So back in the day, we had a lot more episodes than nowadays, where it's only 12 or 13, sometimes even 10. So this was like 2011. So like back in the day, we had like actual full seasons, meaning 24 episodes.
Ooh-wee. That's still. That's a lot of. Yeah, you're right. Now it's usually like 12.
I think it's because of it's money. You know, it's costing more and more. So like they have to like do not as much.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes there will be like 1 or 2 series I'll end up having like 15 or 20-ish episodes, and I'll be like, wow, you know, by surprise. But like, yeah,
Demon
not
Slayer
really
had that many episodes. I made it through 17. It was just so fucking boring.
Bro, that sucks because 19 is where it hits.
Hey, it shouldn't take 19 episodes for it to hit.
Right? Like, I'm like, I want to stop watching, but my brother was liking it. Well, it's for boys anyway, so.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then my brother's like, okay, we got to see the movie. I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll see the movie. We saw it in the movie theater. Never want to do that again.
Oh no!
Nobody in that movie theater shut up. It was so annoying. The movie was awesome, and I was like, holy crap, this is really good. I like this more than the entire season of Demon Slayer. And I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be hyped for season 2. And then season 2 first episode is what got you. Not no freaking 19 episodes, not 10 episodes, not 5 episodes. It's the very first episode. And I'm like, this is how you should have gotten me in the first place. And it's just like, so colorful and bright because they're in the red light district.
I wonder if it had a lot to do with, there was a lot of exposition and, well, not exposition necessarily, but there was a lot of going through all of the origins and the building of what's his name, Tanjiro?
Yeah.
Tanjiro, and explaining the difference. So there was a lot of explanation needed in those to make sense. It just, there had to be a better way to do it. Come on. Okay, we are going to wrap up, and we are going to ask you to put your favorite villain down in the description below. Is there anything I missed before we go?
Nothing I know of. Just make sure you're being awesome possums.
And subscribe to Bianca.
Yes.
That is a requirement. That is a requirement.
It's mandatory.
That's right. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.